Hey everyone, thanks for joining another episode of ATS Live. We're excited to be here tonight, spend the next 30 minutes with you. And we got some cool things we're going to do tonight, but I want to start off with, my name's Robbie. I am a driver consultant here. I have about 7 years with ATS.
And hey everybody, I'm Jimmy Williams. You've seen us before. You know, we've done this. We do this for you, the driver. I'm really excited again to be back. We were here last week doing a Facebook Live again. But a lot of the things that we're going to talk about tonight, guys, have already been talked about. And I think it's going to be valuable for you to hear some of the things that I have learned, in fact, in going back and looking at it. And with all the videos that we got out there for you, the driver, right, there's a couple other things we're going to talk about as we get going forward as well. But again, I thank you everybody again for joining. We've already got Chad. Chad's you're always on, Chad. Thanks for being on. But with all that being said, hey Gerald, awesome. You know that's what we want, guys. We want our current drivers on. But we also hope that there's some drivers that are possibly looking at ATS, right? I got to meet a driver out here who just got done in our van class this week. So it was nice to meet a driver that just got here. So it's good to be with you, sir.
Good to be with you. It's, for Jimmy and myself, we have a lot of fun doing these. And Chad, I just want to say you must too, because you're here every week. And thank you for that. It really is appreciated. It is exciting to see our current drivers on here, because we do ask, drivers that are looking at us to join us for these, and you're a great resource to be able to answer their questions.
You know what I noticed?
Yeah.
In our last video that we did, go back and look at it. We did a cooking thing. You can win $50.
Oh yeah.
$50 you can win for putting out the best recipe. Right, and nobody's done it yet. So I went again preparing for this this ATS Live. I went back and noticed and went, nobody's put something out there.
Noah did.
Noah did. Okay,
yep.
Great, awesome. Well, Noah did. Good for you, Noah. Guys, if you got a recipe that you're doing in your truck, put it online. The best likes is going to win it. There's 2 of them, right, Robbie?
Yep. There's 2 $50 cards up for bid. So right now we've got 1 recipe. So Noah, looking good.
Exactly.
And Chad, I got your comment there. Instead of a cup, you're going to need new safety shirts and vest, 2XL if you don't mind. I will pass that message along.
He's got a tumbler. I don't even have a tumbler.
So let's see. I do my best to be, but doing Walmart dedicated, I do miss some. Yeah, David, we see on here a lot, and we really do appreciate every one of the drivers that are on here. Have my wife put up a recipe for chicken enchiladas made in the truck.
Ooh, that sounds good.
That sounds really good.
Put the recipe up. The most likes are going to get it. Like we said, $50 and $50. That's what makes it fun for us, guys. Is the interaction, going back and forth. But as we started off, this ATS Live, your time is important too, right? Me and Robbie love coming in after hours. We're going to keep continuing to do this. What I wanted to say off the get-go is, I love all the videos that we got behind us, Sam. I just love them because, and again, preparing for this ATS Live, I was able to watch a bunch of them and thought, oh wow, I just learned something there. And as a recruiter, that's what I hope you guys want us to do. We're learning too from what we're doing, as we're hoping we're educating you as well. Not just with the Facebook, I keep saying that, sorry. The ATS Live, excuse me. Not just with these lives that we want to get it out. We're very close to having our content all put together on the website, right? Where you guys are going to be able to go when you've got a bunch of questions. You're going to learn a lot about ATS, and it doesn't benefit ATS. These are just the questions that you guys have, that we're trying to get answers for you guys before you even, this is for new drivers, even for maybe a current ATS driver, but it's for you new drivers, that have a lot of questions about possibly jumping ship, and it'll give you a really good understanding about ATS.
Yeah, these ATS Lives are going to be a good resource, and they are a great resource. Every one of them are recorded, or you can go back and view every one of them. We've got them titled. You can see real time what the drivers were asking and real time what our answers were. Excuse me. And then you can see where we went back afterwards and answered those. But that resource center, that's going to be more of an industry tool.
Yes.
That's not just going to be for ATS drivers, not going to be necessarily for drivers that only want to look at ATS, but drivers that have questions about, I mean, you name the topic and we're going to have articles on it. It's going to be, should I be a company driver? Should I be a lease driver? What are the benefits of being a lease driver? What does it look like to be a true owner operator? You name it in the industry, career paths and flatbed, dry van, everything. So we're excited about this rollout that's coming soon. But to review what we came on here for was we're going to kind of review the month, right?
Yep.
And so week 1 started, and that was really a fun one to have Callie on here. I've worked with Callie for about 7 years now, and she's just such a good resource for her drivers. She's a driver manager, and what they discussed was driver managers and how to better that driver manager driver relationship and what it takes for that relationship to be successful, and what it looks like for the driver when that relationship is successful. So that was week 1, and there's a lot of good details on there. I encourage you to go back and take a look at that. And then if you have any questions, you can call recruiting. You can email us at recruiting@atsinc.com.
Joe.
Yeah,
at ATS.
that's what it's always been, is Joe. But we'll go recruiting@atsinc.com, and Joe is in that email group. So, and then Jimmy, what was week 2?
Week 2, that's again, guys, that's where I learned a lot. And then as a recruiter, right, we're bringing you in. You're coming in, and what are your expectations for when you get in the trucks that are right outside? When you get in for a truck down in Porter. And Joe and Dylan, I thought, did a great job, Robbie, with what that truck looks like when it comes back, right? 115, 120 point service check, right? Mattresses are all replaced. Once as Dylan said, once the wrapping or once the plastic is cut off, if that truck comes back, it is now a new one is put in there. But just the level of detail that our shops go through for that truck when it comes in, 1 to be cleaned, 1 all the PMs, all the service that needs to be done on a truck, I just think that really kind of says a lot about our commitment to not only the driver but for the reliability of the truck going down the road, and also with when if you're a lease driver, right, and the reduced cost, Robbie, for your PMs, right? They're underneath a lot of the industry standards. You're going to get a better deal, than having to take it into a dealership. Sometimes, sure, if it's a repair and it has to go to a dealer, sure, we understand that. But I think the level of commitment from the Andersons, right, from not only it's all about the driver, right, but it's all about the driver's equipment as well.
Yeah, and the really cool thing about these things and what we're doing is, that was Joe from recruiting, and then Dylan from the shop. So we're coming on these lives, and we're bringing different groups on to be completely transparent to you, the driver. And when we say ask us anything, throw the elephant on the table and we'll tackle it. That's how we look at this. Hi Terry, I saw you on there. Corley.
Nice lease program.
Yeah, Corley, I appreciate
best in the industry.
Yeah, I appreciate the referral. I think we're going to be able to help him out. I just talked to him today, so appreciate that, Corley. And then so we covered weeks 1 and weeks 2, right? And
go back and look. And not to interrupt you, but I would encourage you to go back, just scroll down just a little bit and just take a peek at it. As Robbie said, Callie's awesome. I got a bunch of drivers with Callie. I know Robbie has a drum driver, but it's not just Callie. It's all the fleet managers down there have the best interest in mind, and that's yours, right? Sure, they've got to look after an umbrella of drivers underneath them, but it eventually it all comes down to that. And when we do these ATS lives, right, we're just trying to bring you as much information as we can. Last week, Robbie made a strong point that I remember: an educated decision, right? We want you to make the best educated decision on coming to ATS, and as much knowledge and as much information as we can get to you for you to make that educated decision for your family. I think it's just worthwhile for you to take a little bit of time and take a look at some things.
Yeah, and not just the last 2 weeks. That's where I was kind of going with that. Is scroll back, because we've been doing these for 9 months, and every single one of them is a different topic. We're going to get into some of the stuff that we covered in the past as far as current market conditions and stuff like that. We like to stay up to date with that. And what we're trying to do is the last Wednesday of every month on these ATS Lives, kind of do a recap and talk about the current market conditions. Because really, when it comes down to it, what does it look like right now?
Do you know that question on the bottom, Robbie? Any information about the TAP program for owner-operators? I don't.
So I do, and that's just an internal. TAP stands for Top Anderson Performers, and it's an internal lease program once you've completed either a 1-year lease or a 2-year lease with us. So Jason, I would encourage you to call your recruiter. They're ultimately going to probably hook you up with somebody in operations or CES, and get you all the facts on that. So let's answer another one here. So I missed one up here. I want to go back. I don't want to miss any.
They were just talking about the trucks, and David Jerome had said, doing the lease, the truck was clean, and somebody had commented on that. So I think they're just commenting to each other. And Steven, I'm your recruiter, and I love what you're saying. I love what I just was reading from you. So I'm glad you're still here, young man. I'm really glad you're still here.
Dispatch is based. I'll just read it out loud, just full transparency.
Yep.
So he talked about good money. Safety will put up with a lot, but don't get on their bad side.
That's true.
Fair enough. That's really with anybody. Dispatch is basically the complaint department, but if you leave them alone, you'll be averaging $2,000 to $3,000 weekly. I'm a lease op driver, and if any of you apply, don't quote me. LOL.
Oops, we quoted him.
No, Stephen, thank you for that. And I love when I can see some of my drivers on, that are. And I hired you a long time ago, so I'm glad to see these guys are on there. And again, I mean, it's to me, this is what's fun is having the drivers really kind of get into this. Guys, here's the thing though too, we might miss one of your comments, but John Hayes, one of our senior recruiters, Robbie's also a senior recruiter. They do really well with going back after the fact, and whatever question is on there, it will get answered. And I see Mr. Gehring has put something up there for us too.
Yep, I've got a couple of things. So, and Joe, I see you on there, and we're absolutely going to get to the State of the Union.
Mm-hmm.
David said it sure would be nice to spend a little extra money and get a comfortable mattress. This is the cool thing about this. The one supplied to me is terrible. So, not a great mattress. Chad responded, go to I-80, go to Iowa 80. I got my mattress from there. So Chad must like his mattress. A good suggestion. Appreciate that, Chad. Mike says, hi, Joe. Weird.
For permitted loads, does ATS pay for permits and if needed escorts for lease drivers? The answer is yes.
That's correct, sir.
The answer is yes. Yes, Andrew, we do. Yes, sir. Plates and permits and all the escorts needed. Pilot car in front of you, pilot car behind you. ATS picks up the tab for you, sir.
I can't believe how fast the time goes. There's so much information to talk about. Great comments. So we what we didn't cover really was last week.
Cooking.
Yeah, and how much fun Jimmy and I had watching Mr. John Hayes cook.
That was a hell of an apron.
And to be honest,
that was an awesome apron.
Eating the food afterwards.
Yes.
We were able to find some drivers here and feed some drivers that night, so it was wonderful. But those are the types of things that we're going to do. I hope you view that and maybe take something out of it. Chad, I appreciate that comment. It was amazing. We really had a lot of fun doing it. And Mr. Corley says, Mr. Robbie, I wish I would have listened 7 years ago. Well, that was our first contact, Corley, and you know what?
You've been here that long?
And sometimes it, I think I've told you all along that when the time's right, we'll get you over here, and the time was right. So happy to have you with us. So on to kind of the State of the Union, and what. So we've heard some comments up here about drivers. One of them said $2,000 to $3,000.
What I'm hearing from my current drivers, everybody. And I keep a pretty good pulse on the industry. We both do. All of us in recruiting do. Joe, our boss, he knows everybody in the industry. But what I'm hearing from my drivers is if you're willing to show up and work, you're going to run, right? And the amount and the line haul miles that we're getting, the line haul record amounts we're getting, from our customer base, it's all going right in your pocket, you guys. I mean, and that's really the true, I think, State of the Union is trucking is very healthy. Yes, could we use more truck drivers? Sure, we could. But as of right now, the atmosphere around ATS is everything is go, right? And bring in more drivers if we can. But for our current stable of drivers, whether you're company flatbed, company van, flatbed lease, drive van lease, the numbers are off the charts.
Yeah,
From really what I'm seeing.
They really are. Some of the best averages we've ever seen. And so we both know what the averages are right off the top of our head because we're in them every day. We're talking to drivers. We're getting real-time updates from operations. So we're not giving numbers of what drivers might have been making 6 months or a year ago. These are last week's averages. Here's what the drivers are making. And we know that across the board, company positions, so either van or flatbed, that range can be anywhere between about $1,600 to $2,300 a week. With our program called Upside Pay, they're averaging 75 cents a mile. And I'm not sure if you looked at that last report, but the report on average CPM, I'm almost embarrassed to say it because I just can't believe it's true, but it's quite a bit higher than 75 cents a mile.
Yes, it is.
But the 75 cents a mile is what we stick with because that's been a proven since we've gone to the current Upside Pay program. We have not had a weekly average drop below 75 cents a mile.
And I want to hit on that for a minute, guys. Some of you are new here, right? Maybe within 2 years ago. But I remember when the Andersons came to us and said, look, we're testing this program. In July of 2018, we're testing what we call Upside Pay, right? And for 6 months, they tested it. We rolled it out in February of 2019, that at that time, a driver was averaging 65 cents a mile. The industry, no, ATS, we did. And the drivers didn't drop below 65 cents until they got a pay raise on May 3rd. May 3rd of this year is when we rolled out to the industry that if you're an ATS driver, you're willing to show up and you're willing to go to work with our Upside Pay versus CPM, you're going to make no less than 75. And the number that Robbie was talking about, I've seen it too, and it's higher than 75 cents a mile, right? Is that going to continue? We believe it is for a while. Trucking is trucking, right? It's cyclical, the up and down. Well, right now we're still going up and up and up and up and up. Is there going to be a change? Sure, the market always corrects itself. But for right now, if you're willing to work, you guys, we're hoping you'll pick ATS. We're hoping you'll give us a chance and give us a call because the benefits are there for you as a driver.
That brings me right into what we're talking about, the last piece. And I got some questions on here that I really got to get to. But Jimmy talked about it being cyclical. And right now, there is the market's coming down. There is none of that. Everybody hears the news, and you can only pay so much attention to that. But right now, the projection is really good, and we don't project out too far. But through Q2 next year, there is no projected dip. I saw, what did I see? I saw David.
He wants to go ice fishing.
He wants to go ice fishing. David, that's awesome.
So Joe's on. Our boss is on. Maybe there's something we do, going forward that, maybe we bring some of you guys in and we do something where, we bring it in and have you guys do that. But
one way or another, we're going to.
It's got to be a Southern boy, though.
So we'll talk about that moving forward. But one way or another, we're going to do this to bring it to you.
Right.
So whether you're able to join or not, we'll work out logistics and details and all that. That's why we're doing it, is for people who maybe never seen it live, can ask us questions. And that'll be more of just a fun one. I saw Clinton's question. That was the one I wanted to get back to.
Yeah.
So Clinton, that's way above my pay grade, but I will.
Joe sees that.
Yeah.
Joe's seeing that right now.
And I will bring that to the appropriate people, and then I will personally come back on here and answer that question on this
That's a great
recorded
idea.
video.
Back here, I really like, the setup we have here. And again, the setup we have here, right? You've got an enclosed where drivers can come in. You got the grill that's constantly got a flame. There's just a lot of things to do that. Did you see what Chad just put on there? 81 cents. That's kind of it, Guys, again, look at the comments, right? With these are the kind of numbers when me and Robbie are talking about what we've seen. Those are kind of the numbers, right? And that is really some unheard of numbers that you guys are getting for CPM miles. Here's the thing, too, guys and gals, and family members of the drivers. Drivers don't have to kill themselves anymore to get to 3,000 miles to get a paycheck, right? You don't have to stretch yourself and push yourself because you're not getting the CPM miles, right? We're going to make it comfortable enough for you to make a great living. Sure, if you want to push yourself. Sure, if you want to chase it, the freight's going to be there for you to do that. But what we're trying to do is show you that with the 75 cents, you don't have to do that, right?
Correct. And that was a real long segment for company pay.
Yes.
and that's
Yes.
awesome. So we touched on it, but Jimmy made an important point. If you're coming here to work, you don't have to, bust it and, try to get to 4,000 miles to make a good paycheck with our upside pay. But you do have to be willing to stay out. Our company drivers are able to get home every 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, these average earnings of 1,600 to 2,300 is going to be reflected on: am I trying to get home quickly? Am I willing to stay out that 16 or 17 days, maybe 20 days? Am I managing my time well? So much of it falls on you, the driver. But what we can tell you is that our average, the biggest chunk of our drivers is between that 16 to 23.
23 days.
Well, 14 to 21 days, but 16 to 2,300 a week earnings.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
I'm sorry, guys. I thought I heard him say that.
Yep. And then go to the lease.
Yes.
So our lease drivers. So
4,000.
Yeah.
4,000.
There's a commitment level there, people. There's obviously you're all professional truck drivers, and I encourage you to look at our resource center that's going to be out soon, because we go into depth about this, about what it takes to be that top earning driver. But just our averages are anywhere, depending on van or flatbed, but they're similar, starting out anywhere from 23 on the low end up to 35 on the high end for our average. Mm-hmm. These are crazy numbers.
Mm-hmm. I'm listening.
And here's the deal: they're not going back down anytime soon. None of it is going back down anytime soon. The markets are strong. The projections for the markets are strong all the way through Q2 of 2022. So
the commitment from our customer base too is strong towards ATS.
Yeah.
Right. What I tell a lot of my drivers when I'm talking to a new driver that's possibly coming over, that's what I want you to do, is come over and experience the ATS way. Right. You're going to experience something. And I said this last week. I said every ATS live that I do, I know what's in store for you. Right. And I get excited about that because of what's up at the mothership, as I call it. Right. There's things that you've not experienced in truck driving. We feel it's our core value to show you that, right? To show you the level of commitment, to show you the level of respect. I know what you're going to get when you get up there. The pay on top of it is the icing on the cake, right? For you to show up and to do what you do, and that's be a professional truck driver. Be called by your name, not by your truck number. and then put a whole lot of money in your pocket. If lease driver, I talked with one of my drivers, Robbie. He's staying out about 21 days. His last week's check was $4,600. I mean that's it, he's chasing it, right? And I understand that. I talked to another one of my drivers. He's out 4 months at a time. I said, go home. You got to go home. You're out 4 months at a time. He's chasing it, right? So you can chase it, but then there's also a family commitment. Maybe you have the kids every couple weeks. When the Andersons say you're going to get home, it's in the three-legged stool. You will be home when you need to be home. If you need to be home every 2 weeks, it's in our business model to get you home every 2 weeks. But when you want to chase it, and I've seen Chad and a couple other ones say they're chasing it right now, the freight is there for you guys to do. And the state of the union, as we want to say, we're healthy.
Very
ATS
good.
is very, very healthy right now. Our customer base is the reason why we can make these bold statements and back up everything that Robbie and I say. It's because we know our customer base is there to back up everything we say.
And it's a whole puzzle, because without the customers, nothing happens. Without you, the drivers, and the biggest thing, you drivers making the commitment to being on the road and being safe doing it.
Yes.
So much of why we have the customers we have is because our drivers are the safe drivers that they are. So thank you for that. I want to say, Laura says, as a trucker wife with ATS, thank you for all you do. You make us all feel like part of the family. That is our goal, because this is a family-owned business. That mentality of making everybody part of the family comes from the Anderson family and permeates every corner of this building and every corner of, I call it the glass house, he calls it the mothership. So yes, so it is good to hear that. David Bragg says, is that after expenses? David, yes, it is.
Yes, it is, David. Yes, it is. Yes. And again, guys, right, if you're leasing your company, you're in a really good spot. What I tell a lot of my drivers too is, I'm not asking you to be out on the road and be, chatty Cathy with, your neighbors if you don't want to be with, guys at the truck stop. Be willing to give up. If Robbie's your recruiter, send him to Robbie. If you're my driver, send him to me. If you're John, if you're Holly, if you're Patrick, if you're Paul's driver, right? We will not steer them. We will not paint the stars in the moon. We will talk to them exactly how we talk to you, with 100% respect, right? We'll give you the honest answers that you're willing to get. So if you pass your name and you attach somebody to another driver, right, we're going to give that driver the same level of commitment we did you. So use that. If you guys are doing well, adding more drivers isn't going to take away, guys. Believe me. If we added 100 more trucks and 100 more drivers, you're still going to be making the money you're making. Trust me on that.
Yeah, and that, for the longest time in the industry, that was one of the biggest reasons we heard why people wouldn't refer
Right.
drivers is, why would I refer somebody to come in here and compete for the same freight? ATS's business model is such that we're going to make sure we have the customer freight to support however many drivers we have, and we're not going to hire more drivers than we have that customer freight for. It's just been a very successful business model for a lot of years, and that's not going to change.
No.
So what's going to happen is we're going to hire those drivers, and if you want to get a piece of the pie, we'd love to pay out the referral bonuses. It's $1,000 for the first referral, $1,500 for the second referral, and $2,000 for every referral after that. And that I know I saw it discussed last night on the ATS Live last night, and that actually resets annually. So it's an annual referral bonus.
January 1st.
So if you certify 2 people in January, and then the rest of the year, every person you get to hire on with ATS, it puts an extra $2,000 in your pocket. We're gonna hire those drivers anyways,
Yep.
so we'd rather pay you than some ad agency or Jerry.
Jerry Hayes.
Jerry Hayes. Remember Jerry?
You gonna come and see us anytime, Jerry Hayes? How you been, sir?
Jerry-
Holy cow!
Jerry, I'll see you down in Louisville, I think, this year. So
Mac show?
we took a year off, and be good to see you again.
What's that show called?
Matt's
Matt's
Mid American
Matt's
Truck
Matt.
Show. Yep. Why build a show truck and start hitting the show circuit? I'm not sure.
He's talking about something. Why not?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, there's something going to there, but we've been doing this, and like Robbie said earlier, about 20 minutes ago, whatever. Time flies, right? We've already been doing this for 30 minutes.
Ooh.
We're just getting started. But here's what it is. There's a lot for us to talk about. There's a lot for you to digest. There was a poll, Sam. What was that poll? How many? There were drivers on. I think I've seen that.
Still up.
So there was a poll where how many people on here were not ATS drivers?
Let's see. So we had
8.
8.
Could have been family members, right? Could have been some other stuff. But when I looked at that, when she pulled that up, that made me smile, right? That made me smile a lot because I'm guessing that could be a teammate of one of the current ATS drivers, or it could be somebody that's possibly looking to come here. As we said, we're doing this for you, the driver, right? I think what we've done thus far for the whatever 30 some that we've done, we try to keep it unique. We will never ever script it, right? I've seen some other carriers, not going to name them. They got no, come on. This is what's important to us is for our drivers and our drivers out there and drivers that aren't ATS drivers that are coming on and asking the questions that we can now show you that this is the face of ATS right now. When you call into ATS, you're going to talk to one of us, excuse me, Robbie or I, Paul Irwin, Patrick, Holly, or John Hayes, right? You're going to talk to one of us. That'll be your first point of contact in here. And we welcome that. We love that. We love talking to new drivers. We love to talk about the Anderson brand and why I think it will be a good decision for you to come over here. But to go back to something I said, we will put all the information in front of you. It'll be all on the table, right? Whether that's on our website, whether that's what you hear from a recruiter, for you to make the best educated decision.
Yeah, we do these. The biggest thing is the education part. Mm-hmm. It's great to do that. We have a lot of fun doing them. And the biggest thing I've heard, Jimmy, is I'm coming to ATS. I can't believe how transparent you guys are.
Yeah.
You come on to a live broadcast every week and provide information and answer any question that's out there. Yeah, I'm coming to ATS. Mm-hmm. And that's the important thing is that, not that they're coming to ATS, but that you out there, whether you be an ATS driver, a prospective driver, or somebody just curious about another company in the industry, you get to see what ATS is all about. Mm-hmm. And we get to share that with you. We get to share our joy and, So Jimmy and I have this brother-like relationship, and it hasn't come through tonight. We, it's the bonk each other on the head kind of fun brother relationship, and that's what I think we should. I think you're going to see that in the ice fishing one we'll do this winter. But
I will catch more fish than you.
That's that's the cool thing about ATS. We have so much fun that we come in after hours and just to spend more time together. And we really appreciate you. And I want to be respectful of your time. Really appreciate you spending 30 minutes with us. Here's an important thing. If you're viewing this tomorrow, next week, and you've got a question, we continue to go back and monitor those questions. Mm-hmm. So if you've got a question about the first 3 episodes that we kind of recapped, current state of affairs or projection for ATS, that's really what the topic of this session was. Please put those comments in here. And you got one?
Tim Layton. He's been over here. He's been here for over 20 years.
Awesome.
Guys, here's what it is. I will tell a driver, not every time, but if I get a feel for what what I feel the driver is on the other end of the phone, I fully expect that a lot of my drivers that I bring in are going to retire here, right? Our tenure is 5 years, 7 months still. I mean, the highest tenure in the industry, right? The turnover rate is, and we hold that. We value that, right? It would make 0 sense for me or Robbie or any one of us to tell you something that was not going to happen when you get here, right? And you can see in a lot of the comments that have been in the past ones where, we are transparent. It comes from the top down, right? Through Joe, through us. We're going to say the exact same things that you're going to hear in recruiting, that you're going to hear from your fleet manager, that you're going to hear from operations. Boom, boom, boom. That's kind of how we roll.
Actually going to happen in real life
Correct.
application.
And then your paycheck, you're sitting on it because you got to go to the chiropractor because it's getting too fat, because you're sitting on your wallet all day long. It is what, hey, that's what I hope. There's the line, and if you're my driver, you heard me say this. You come to ATS, we're going to keep you fat and healthy, meaning the paycheck, right? That's our goal. You're the ones making the commitment. You're the ones sacrificing out on the road for me and Robbie to have a job, right? If we don't have you as a truck driver, we don't have a company, right? That's why we're transparent. That's why we're here after hours, because of the commitment not only that me and Robbie have towards the Andersons, but we know you as truck drivers, and the new truck drivers that see this know that you will get the respect, know that you will get the commitment from one of us 6, if you do call in, to get you to orientation. The same level of commitment, the same level of respect will be shown at orientation, along with your fleet managers and operations.
Chad, I appreciate your comment there. Chad, you and I, you're one of my very first hires. Not my first, but really early on. So I hope you and I can have a retirement party together leaving ATS.
Chad, send me one of your tumblers, because I can't even get a tumbler. I'm just kidding.
So we want to be respectful of the time frame. So a couple of things, like I said, make sure you leave comments if you've got questions. The other thing, Jimmy, so we've kind of got a schedule of things that we'd like to talk about, but we want to hear, and I've been putting this out for a few weeks, we want to hear what's important to you. So even if it's after this, and there's something you would love to have a 30-minute session about, go put it in the comments, and we're going to be doing some giveaways for that. Chad, we might even be able to get you another tumbler. I'm just kidding.
Another one? No.
So go in there, and if we use your topic, what's that?
Recipes.
Yep. No, I know. Yep. And then if we use your topic, we're gonna do some gifts.
They're talking about hunting.
Oh, hunting. All right. Good. That's right up my alley.
2 weeks.
Yeah. And then the other thing is we've got one recipe. So Noah, you're looking good. We're gonna leave this on here. This kind of challenge on here.
Should we put a timeline on it?
I think what we should do is we should put a timeline.
Friday.
Thanksgiving.
Oh, let's do Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
That's a month away.
Well, we can get the recipes in, and we can get them voted on.
And they'll get thrown in the cookbook.
And they'll get thrown into the ATS cookbook. So
she's in charge.
That's
Sam's
what we're
in
going to
charge. Did you say hi, Sam? Did you wave?
I mean, I'm not on camera, but this is me.
She makes everything go. She makes everything go. Okay, everybody, we've been on for 38 minutes, and I thank you for joining in. Just keep coming in. Better communication like today. Great. I mean, there you go, Tim. You've been here 20 years. I mean, come on, man. That's just awesome to me. I'm going to be here. Robbie's going to be here. John, Holly, we're all going to be here for you, the driver. I'm just kidding. We love working for Joe Gehring, by the way. Am I right? Yes. So Joe, and what I'm liking too, right? We're giving Joe a couple weeks off, right? So, that's kind of fun for me. I'll say it real quick. He was my mentor when I got here. When I was hired on here, I sat with him my first 2 days. I drug him down. I asked him way too many questions. I love the man to death, because what he showed me, what he told me what I could expect working for the Andersons came true. And he tells the same thing to the drivers. I do the exact same thing. So thank you everybody for joining us today. It was a lot of fun. It was great sitting with Robbie and Sam tonight. Where do you want the recipe sent? If you just send them to Sam, she's going to put her email up right now.
Yes.
If you want to comment, that might work too. But then Sam's going to put her email up on the screen right now.
It's going to pop in.
It's going to pop in any second. And there you go. So send her an email with your recipe.
Can you read it? Oh, I see. I spelled it wrong. Can you read it out loud, please?
Yes, I can. So Samantha, SAMANTHAK.
Oh,
No, TH.
Nope. So let's start over.
Yes.
We're gonna
Let me take
we're
the
gonna
note off.
start. My eyes might work a little better.
I got glasses on, for Pete's sakes.
SAMANTK at ATSINC.com. And you can, Chad, you can always send it to me. You know me, I'll get it over to Sam. So
Keep smiling, you two guys rock. Thanks, Jerry Hayes.
thanks.
Jerry Hayes, it's been, my goodness, it's been at least 3 years since I shook your hand upstairs at the mothership. So I'm hoping you make it back up here, young man. It was great to meet you.
We really hope you enjoyed this episode of ATS Live, and we look forward to seeing you here next week.
There you go,
Thanks,
Joe.
everybody.
Have a good night, everybody.